Okay, we're ready for the next step in our project number one. So, move onward. Remember, my example here is of a pooper's scoop. Yeah, I'm doing a pooper scooping and maybe dog walking type of a business. So, just two things I want to get done today. We'll look at our payroll for year one, and then our operating expenses for year one. I don't know for ours, and I have to dig into it a little bit further. If we're going to do, the multi-year forecasts that are available to us here, but we're for sure going to do the payroll year one and operating expenses, and we'll do an income statement, which these operating expenses will go to, and we'll do a cash flow for year one, but not today. Today we're just going to do our payroll and operating expenses. So here we go. Let's start with the payroll. Okay. Yeah. Here's the deal, okay? The only time I'm going to pay the owner is if I am a C corporation, okay? None of you will probably be C corporations. Rather, you're going to be a sole proprietorship, a partnership, an LLC, maybe an LP, maybe even an S corporation. But the only time I would make payroll to the owner is if I were a C corporation. So I'm not, okay? On the other hand, I might have a little bit of payroll. I'm going to pay my son to help me a little bit. He can help scoop poop. There you go. And he can also help walk the dogs a little bit. But, it's not going to be a bunch. But so I'm going to have one part-time employee. Average hourly pay, so I pay him minimum wage in the state of Montana is $8.05 per hour, and he's going to work 10 hours per week. Okay, so roughly $350 per month. It does all the calculating for me. How's that for sweet? Okay, some of you may have full-time employees. That's fine. And some of you may hire independent contractors, right? Subcontracting, whatever you might want to call it, depending on what your business is. What would be a good example of that? Uber, has subcontractors, or contract workers that work for them. I'm trying to think of what a better example of that might be. Oftentimes those folks that are in contracting type of a business, if you're a general contractor, certainly you might put in there that you would have electrical contractors, plumbing contractors, those types of folks that might do some business for you. And so your business might have that, okay? If it does, fine. If it doesn't, that's fine as well. If you have questions about it, just let me know. Okay. We also know, and this does a nice job. It makes our job so easy, right? That we need to withhold for Social Security, Medicare, unemployment tax, state unemployment tax. The only thing it doesn't have in here is workers' comp. Okay, and we're all going to have some workers' comp. Now, my guess is actually that dog walking and pooper scooping, not so much the pooper scooping, but the dog walking might be kind of a dangerous deal. I would guess, occasionally you're going to have a dog that is vicious, or that you're going to be walking a dog and another dog may come along and get into a fight. And so, there might be a relatively high expense there. And if you were doing an entrepreneurship project, I'd want you to do some research and try to figure that out. Since we're not, I'm just going to guess that it's kind of high. Okay, I'm going to guess that it may be as high as 25%. Okay, that it's 25% of what I'm paying, my son in this case, so $2 an hour. I'm going to have to pay a workers' comp in case he gets hurt on the job. Okay, then he'd be entitled to some reimbursement from the workers' comp system. Okay, high workers' comp things are things like contracting, especially maybe roofers. Those types of things get to be fairly high. Oftentimes, that's why you end up having independent contractors, right? So again, you might be the general contractor and you would hire an independent contractor that might come in and do the roofing instead of an employee, because the independent contractor doesn't have to carry workers' comp on himself, on and on and on. So making a longer story out of that, and sorry about that. Okay, that's it. I'm done with the payroll. Now I got to go to the operating expenses, and that gets to be a little bit more work, but it's not bad. I wonder if I can make that a little bit bigger. Still keep everything there. Yeah, there we go. Okay. It's just simply a matter of some common sense here. Again, in entrepreneurship, I'm going to want you to be far more detailed, but for our purposes here, we can just be kind of guessing. So I'm not going to need a ton of advertising, right? To advertise for dog walking and for pooper scooping and whatnot. You know what? I'm going to send out some flyers, and I'm going to send out, make a phone call or two, maybe a little word of mouth type of stuff. Maybe I'll even put a classified ad in the newspaper once a month. Okay, nothing major. Okay, cars and truck expenses, I might have some of that, right? Because I got to drive around, I got to go pick up the dogs, I got to do those types of things. I think I had that I'm buying a vehicle, right? Yep. So I'm gonna have to operate that. Probably twice a year, month 3 and month 9, I'm also going to get the oil changed and get it serviced and do those types of things. But otherwise I'm going to spend $50, and I'm going to extend that, but I'll come back in months 3 and 9. I'm going to change because I'll get it serviced, and that's going to cost me another $100 for those months. Commissions and fees, I shouldn't have any of those. Contract labor, insurance other than health. My insurance is I covered right on my starting point, and it's actually on my ongoing expenses because I prepaid my insurance for the year. Okay, and so I don't need to. I'm not going to include that. That's insurance on my vehicle. Insurance for that might be not enough. I got $600 because I'm going to have insurance on my vehicle and insurance for liability and stuff that I'm probably going to need. I might end up going back and changing that, but I can do that. Okay. Insurance other than health, I shouldn't have anything. Legal and professional, I'm going to pay somebody every March or April to do my daggum taxes because I don't like doing that. $500. Licenses, I shouldn't need any, I don't think, for this particular business. Once a year I have to send in at the end of the year I do have to send in my corporate, my LLC, my name registration type of thing, and that might be $15. Okay, office expenses, I'm gonna have to send out bills, do those types of things, so I'm gonna have some of that. I'm just gonna make a guess there, $25 a month. That should be pretty consistent, right? Stamps, whatever. Rent, lease, or other business property. A lot of you have this, okay? Rent, lease, or vehicles, machinery, and equipment. Some of you may have that, and a lot of you maybe in your businesses you're going to rent your location, so you might have that, okay? So you need to put that on there. Repairs and maintenance, I could have had my car and truck expense, but I'm guessing this would be on other things. Gosh, I'm just not going to have much there, right? I can't think, every now and then I'm probably going to have to buy a new pooper scooper or something like that. Those are going to be, I'm going to call those supplies anyhow, and it's not going to be much, but I will need supplies. I'm going to need garbage bags. I'll need, vinyl gloves and those types of things that you want to wear, and, different things like that I'll need. But I can't imagine that they're terribly expensive. Ooh, $2,500. There you go. Let's try $25. Right? Just can't imagine that it's terribly expensive. Okay, $25 a month, carry it on over. Travel, meals, and entertainment, I just don't have any, right? Shouldn't. Lunch will be on your own. I can schedule those things. Utilities, I'm not renting a location or anything. I shouldn't have any utilities. Most of you will. Okay, if you've got some kind of a storefront, whatever it is, you might have utilities, unless that's part of your lease. Okay, and then miscellaneous, let's just put $10 a month in there just to kind of cover things, right? Okay, what's great is that my depreciation is already calculated and it's entered in there. My interest on my loans is already calculated and entered in there. It says I'm going to have a line of credit, okay, and I'm not, right? But the reason that's showing up is because I don't have a positive cash flow yet, and I don't have a positive cash flow yet because I haven't estimated sales. I haven't done my sales forecast, and we're going to wait on that. Okay, we'll wait on that, and that'll be our next exercise, is to do the sales forecast. But for now, please get the payroll and the 5A. So I got what is that, 2A and 5A, payroll and operating expense. Get those done, okay, and get those submitted. I'll set up a separate Dropbox for those, and that'll be for this week. Next week we'll probably get into sales forecasts. So thanks, and we'll talk to you next week.